the hook gon' be? I don't need no on this beat. Only singing still good on these streets. Ghetto foreign whip is still pushing on it. I came a long way from nights we didn't eat. Came a long way from 75th Street. Candy house trapping, I need everything sweet. But I can't say what happened on the back of them streets. Ay, fast forward cracking, but the package ain't cheap. I know my true to pride, what I became to be. I had to really pay the cost, I never waived the fee. Now it's everything designer with my hanger be. I just really want the money, the fame to me. Guess it come with it, it really ain't no thing to me. Now they loving it, I'm really finna flame the streets. I'm forever humble for every road they pay for me. Not a big bag on me, no big homies, no cosign, just the Eagle gang only. Beat on my brother, won't forget what you told me. 6-tape, mixtape, but classic facts only. They want us to double back, wouldn't be surprised if part 2 got a black. Cause we them guys and we the truth and we brought it back. It's West Side till I die, hope you quoting that. Yeah, ain't no holding back, giving out sauce. Gotta go dolo, but it's no love lost. No middleman and what the whole plug cost. We pandemic dealing, me and Vic, young bosses. Lessons ain't losses. Blessings on blessings on blessings keep falling. Labels keep calling. Call what they talking about. Cause if it ain't some tickets, then we walking out. If it ain't some tickets, then we walking out. What the hook gon' be? Yeah, I don't need no on this beat. Ay. Only singing still good on these streets. Ghetto foreign whip is still pushing on it. I came a long way from nights we didn't eat. Came a long way from 75th Street. Candy house trapping, I need everything sweet. But I can't say what happened on the back of them streets. Hey, forever humble.
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode brought to you by the League FFB. Today we're here for another fantasy football Q&A, as we always are. Look, man, we don't really got too much to get into in the intro. As always, if you guys want to support the show, and I just want to make sure, that it's not too loud for you guys as far as the background music. It's loud in my headphones, but I don't know, it feels like it might be a little bit loud. Let me know in the chat if it's loud. But I do want to let you guys know at home that if you do want to support the show, the best way to always do that is going to be by using our code over on Underdog. If you use our promo code on Underdog, playing $5, they will give you $100 in bonus funds. Now, you get that by using promo code LeagueFFB, and because it is the month of October, they are going to give you boosts all month, promos in the app every single day for Boost-tober. So that is the best way to show this channel some support. As always, if you want to support us freely, the best way to do that is by using or hitting the like button. So appreciate you guys for being here. Appreciate you early, Brandon, Sean, Rob, Smitty, Ev, everybody being in here. Appreciate you guys. But let's get into these questions. As always, this is going to be a start sit kind of stream, trade questions, all of that good stuff. So the first one we got here is from Brandon. Brandon says, I'll be out on a date when this airs, so I figured I'd get my my cat is out here going crazy. All right, anyways, my cat's out here tripping. I'll be out on a day when this airs, so I figured I'd get my questions in early. Full PPR, Brees, Debo, or Dowdle, Waller, or Laporta. I'm going to go with probably Brees. And then for the tight end, I'm going with Laporta. Sean says, PPR start Scatterboo, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Olave. Give me Scatterboo here. Hold on, guys. I'm going to go put this cat away. Sorry. All right, we back. My bad, y'all. That never happens, and she just got on some bad behavior, I guess, right now. So it is what it is. But where were we at? Let's get back into this. Scatterboo, Marvin Harrison Jr., or Olave. I'm going with Scatterboo here in the PPR league. We got Kittle or Dallas as the question here. In my rankings this week, I do have... I do have Dallas higher right now. It's going to be interesting to see what Kittle's workload looks like to start it off. Smitty says, Waller playing in some horrible weather. Should I stream Otten or Mason over Waller this week? I would be going with, I think I would be going with Otten here. He is the highest in my rankings right now. He is my tight end 7 on the week currently. Everett says, chat, are we starting Marvin Harrison Jr.? I got Pickens and London starting, Judkins, BR, Achane starting. I got Swift in the flex right now, debating if I should start Marvin Harrison Jr. All right, so I got those guys starting. Judkins, those guys starting. Got Swift in the flex. So it's basically a Swift versus Marvin Harrison Jr. question right now. In my flex rankings, I do have... Gotta scroll down a little while for this. I do have Marvin higher just a little bit, but we are going into the weekend, obviously, with Swift questionable with that groin injury. He is going to play, but it's going to be interesting to see how they use him this week. All right, let's see. Full PPR, rest of season, would you rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. or Quentin Johnston? And rest of season, would you rather have Swift or Bill Krosky Merritt? I think I would rather have Marvin Harrison Jr. And rest of season, I would probably... It's tough between Bill and Swift. Bill has the better rest of season schedule and the better playoff schedule, so I'm going to lean with him there. Full PPR, should I trade Darren Waller, Jordan Mason, Romeo Dobbs, and Bo Nix for Garrett Wilson or Zay Flowers? I don't need QB, running back, or tight end. I needed wide receiver depth behind JSN and Devontae. I mean, I feel like that's a lot of just bench / flex options for you to go get a starter in Garrett Wilson and Zay. So yeah, I'd probably do that. Definitely prefer Garrett Wilson over Zay Flowers by a pretty decent margin. Stafford or Love. Right now in my rankings, I do have Jordan Love is QB 10. Stafford is my QB 14. Mac Jones or Jackson Dart. Jackson Dart is higher in my rankings. I have him currently as my QB 19. Mac Jones is my QB 22. Goff or May. Right now, Goff is my QB 4. May is my QB... Where is May? 5. So 4 and 5, back to back, Goff and May. I got an offer to move Swift for Quentin Johnston and Marvin Harrison Jr. I have Igbuka out, Flowers on bye. I have Judkins, Swift, Achane, and Bill. Struggling at wide receiver or with only Worthy and Bourne. Those two above on the bench, plus, what is the other here? Plus, I lost Neighbors. I mean, I feel like you got some solid depth. I think I would obviously have Achane and Judkins over Swift. I just said I would take Bill rest of season, I think, over Swift. So, yeah, if you can make this trade happen, I think that makes sense. How you feeling about Ayuk, hold or fade? I have zero interest in Brandon Ayuk, I think, for redraft purposes right now until we get some positive news. For Dynasty, I don't know what to think. It feels like it's only been bad news about Brandon Ayuk for about 2 years now. John says, what's up? Would you trade ETN and Rico Dowdle for James Cook in PPR? In a heartbeat. Yeah, I'm not even thinking about this, John. I'm doing this immediately. Alenda says, in Superflex leagues, Njoku is out. Fannin, Otten, or Mason are all available on the waiver wire. Which one to pick up? Thanks. I do think with David Njoku out, Harold Fannin is probably going to be the best play here. So Harold Fannin's the pick up and play for me if I need the tight end. Traded Neighbors and Kamara for Golden, Sutton, 2 firsts, and a second. What are your thoughts trying to win this year? I don't like it at all, honestly. If I'm being super real and super honest with you, Derek. Neighbors and Kamara for Golden, Sutton, 2 firsts, and a second. I mean, yeah, you're trying to win this year. But I feel like really the only piece that makes you win right now in this trade is Sutton. And you traded by far the best dynasty asset in it with Neighbors away. So yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you were just trying to get production, you could have just traded for Sutton, got rid of all the other junk, and just traded for Sutton by itself, and it wouldn't have costed you Malik Neighbors, and you could have still had Malik on the team. Oscar, what up, man? John says Pacheco or Hollywood in PPR. It's tough to tell what Hollywood's going to look like now with Rice in the lineup. I guess Pacheco, but I don't like either of them. Half PPR, am I starting Dobbins or Hall? I currently have it as... These are my PPR rankings. Hold on. Let me go to half. I have it Breece Hall, running back 10. J.K. Dobbins, running back 16. Full PPR start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. Should I trade Rico plus RJ for QJ? I got CMC, but RB2 would be Woody and Spears. Wide receivers are T-Mac, Marvin, Dobbs. What are we thinking? Honestly, I'm probably not doing the deal. I know QJ was on fire for a little bit there. He's injured now with the hamstring. He was looking a little touchdown dependent beforehand. Yeah, I'm just keeping my running backs here with RJ and Rico, or trading for a different wide receiver. Need to play 3. T-Mac, CD, Ferguson, Tez, Kendrick. Thanks. Give me CD. Give me Ferguson. And give me T-Mac, I think, in a full PPR. I like Ferguson a lot, but I guess if this is not a tight end premium, you can definitely go Bourne. But if it's a tight end premium, go Ferguson. My bench is wide receiver Pittman, Dobbs, Jamison Williams, Evans. Running backs are CMC, Rashad White, Montgomery, Kendra Miller, and Chubb. Tight ends are Kittle and Fanning. Full PPR, who to start in 2 running back. Lots on IR. Okay, so we're just setting the whole lineup here. So we have to start 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex, and a tight end. So the 2 running backs are going to be CMC, and I think I'm going to go with... Who's the highest in the rankings here? Rashad White is higher in my rankings. So give me White and CMC for the running backs. For the wide receivers, we're going to go with Jamison Williams and Pittman. And then I'll probably go Evans as the flex. The tight end, give me Fannin this week over Kittle. So yeah, I think that's how I'm going to set that one. Full PPR, do I trade Vidal and Knight for Amar? Trolling, right? We're trolling, right? We don't even need to ask this question. Why are we? I think we're trolling. Needed an elite wide receiver 1. Thinking of offering Kittle and Allen for JSN. The guy who has no tight end, you think that's decent or instant denied? I'm assuming that Allen is not Josh Allen. It's Keenan Allen, I'm assuming, right? And I think it is a decline. I don't know if it's fair. I think you need to give him a better wide receiver than Keenan Allen. I got an offer for Kittle for Mark Andrews and Rico. Should I do it? No. Full PPR, half-point tight end premium start 2, Travis Hunter, Gadsden, Booty. Give me... I think give me Booty and Hunter. Isaiah Davis worth a stash to drop Burden with him being RB1 if Hall gets traded. Definitely worth a stash. I would try and not drop Burden. I'd definitely be willing to drop other players, but I would prioritize Burden over Davis still personally. But I like the idea of picking up Davis. I don't know if you have other options that I would rather drop. Mason or Dobbins this week in a PPR. I currently have Dobbins a couple spots higher. Yeah, Dobbins is like 2 or 3 spots higher. K9, Jordan Mason, Kyron Williams, or Kamani Vidal, pick 2. It's Kyron Williams for me is the first one, and then the other one is... Where is it? I have Kamani Vidal, the highest of the other ones, so I guess it's Kyron Williams and Kamani. Thanks for the call starting Rodgers over Kyler. No problem, man. I didn't think it was going to look like that the other night, but hey, I'll take it. Should I trade Scadaboo and Kraft for London and Ertz? My running backs are CMC, Hampton, JCM, Marks, Scadaboo, Miller, Knight. Redraft, by the way. Yes, I would be doing that. CMC, Hampton, JCM, Marks. I think you're fine at the running back room. I mean, assuming you need wide receiver help. But if your wide receiver room is just as strong as your running back room, then I think it's more important to have the running back depth, if that makes sense. So I guess let me know what your wide receiver room looks like. But for now, this is a fair trade. Kevin says, do we start Rico? It's a good question. I've kind of been debating it a little bit over the last little while. Right now, the way that I have it is Rico Dowdle is my running back 16. He's played too good for me to feel like they're going to just bench him and put him back to the bench. It's probably going to be a little bit of a split, but I definitely have Rico as a guy that I'd be plugging into my lineups this week. I'm not overthinking it. And if it changes, then it changes. But for now, he's played too good for me to put him on my bench. Need some flex help in a deep league. Michael Mayer, Tyler Higbee, or Tez Johnson. I think I would go with Michael Mayer personally. Hunter Henry, Otten, or Mayer this week. The highest one in my rankings is Otten. Otten is the highest in my rankings. A-Rod says, what's good, bro? I need help with the running back 2 spot and the flex play. The RB options are between White, Kyron, and Javonte Williams. Wide receiver options are Pickens and Rome. So for the wide receiver position, I have Rome over Pickens. So just give me Rashi. I mean, why did I just say Rashi Rice? I'm looking at him right here. Give me Rome for the wide receiver. And then for the running back slot, I can't remember where Javonte is. He's top 5 for me. So Javonte Williams would be the play. So Javonte Williams and Rome. Drop Jennings, Waller, or Fannin Jr. I think if I have to drop one, damn, this one's a tough drop. I think it's Waller. I don't really want to drop Waller, but if I have to drop one of these guys, it is Waller. Because unless you're not planning on playing Fannin this week. But I don't know. This is tough. I wish I was trolling. Then I guess the answer here, I mean, this is to go back to this one. Trade Vidal and Knight for Amarion or Nico Odunze and White. I mean, the reality is you are making that trade no matter who it is. I'm trading Vidal and Knight for Omarion easy, or for Nico easy. Or I guess it's or Nico / Odunze and White / Vidal for Bucky. Yeah, I'm trading Vidal and Knight for Omarion, and that's what I'm doing because I think Vidal and Knight are waiver wire fodder that you're just going to drop in a week or two. And Omarion Hampton's a league-winning running back when he gets back. So, yeah, just give me Hampton, man. I think this is the one. Start 2 running backs, Monty, White, Hall. Give me White and Hall. I got Lamb, Tet, Marv, Golden, Tez. They're both pretty decent. Yeah, I guess I'd probably go with... I'd probably take the London side and then plug in Lamb, London, Tet every week and have Marv play the flex or something like that. So, yeah, I probably would do it still. Bro, Rice is finally back in my dynasty lineup. It's now Josh Allen, JT, Bucky, JSN, London, Rice, Kraft, Pittman. Crazy. Hopefully you win that league. I didn't really type it out right. I'm saying for the flex spot, it's between one of the other running backs or one of the 2 wide receivers. Which ones would you suggest? Okay, so I guess... okay, hold on. So... the RB2 or the RB options are White, Kyer, and Williams. Honestly, my answer doesn't change, though. I would play Javonte Williams, and then I would flex Rome. Kraft or Fannin, Jamo or White in the flex, full PPR. I like Rashad White in the flex more. I do have Fannin higher in my rankings this week. I'm pretty sure. Actually, I lied. Don't listen to me, Marcy. It's Kraft. Kraft is higher by 2 spots in my rankings. So give me Kraft and White. So starting Williams and RB2, then how do you have the flex between Kyer and Rome, Pickens, or White? I would be Rome. Is Henderson droppable? Not yet. Honestly, here's the thing. I'm never going to suggest, and you could call this stuck to priors and blah, 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 blah. I'm not going to suggest dropping Henderson. Really, I couldn't foresee that. I guess if we get to like week 12 and he's still not done anything, like sure, I'm going to drop him. But at this point, we're halfway through the fantasy football regular season, and you spent the capital that you spent on Henderson, and it's not a lack of talent. It's a lack of usage. You're just still waiting and seeing. It's not like he's not playable. He's just not living up to the expectation of what you drafted him for. I still have him every week floating between like running back 28 and running back 30 something, which is playable. It's just a flex play, and you want him to be a running back 1 or a running back 2 in fantasy potentially. Which one would you bench? It's Dowdle, Tet, and Ladd. I think it's going to be Dowdle. Confidence level for the Philly game this week. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Because I don't know. I'm at a loss for words right now, Andre. I thought that JJ McCarthy was going to be ready and healthy. It sounds like he's not, which is like, how serious was this injury, and why did you not put him on IR if he was going to miss, as many games as he already has? And then they have him as QB3, but they said that he could be... Bro, I don't know what the hell is going on. I trust Kevin O'Connell, but it's going to sound spoiled, I guess, as like a fan. I don't give a fuck about watching Carson Wentz play football. I don't give a fuck. Like, he is not a quarterback that is going to win me a Super Bowl. So if we're not going to win a Super Bowl with Carson Wentz, why don't we just see what JJ McCarthy is? Let's stop delaying and keeping, you know, the new toy in the garage. I don't know. I'm getting frustrated personally. I just want to see JJ McCarthy play. Obviously I care, but like I don't even care if he comes out and plays bad. Just let me see him on the fucking football field. All right, that's it. Sorry, I'm Andre. You almost got me spiraling here. Streaming Bo for Lamar. I can get Caleb. Should I take him over Bo? I have Caleb as a top 6 play. Bo Nix is a top 11 play, so I would be going with Caleb over Bo, yes. Would you trade A.J. Brown for Debo straight up, 10-man redraft, or A.J. Brown and Addison for Debo and Golden? No, I don't think I'd do any of these. I think I'd still have A.J. Is Nico a sell in Dynasty? What wide receivers would you trade for him or for with him? That's too many fours. That's like 4 scores and whatever many years ago that was. What wide receivers would you trade for him for or for with him? It's damn tongue twister, Nolan. Is he a sell in Dynasty? I guess it depends on your league. It's hard for me to do the whole who would I give up and buy with him for, because every league market is different. I don't personally believe he's a player that I'm nervous about in next season. So if you think he's still going to be a top wide receiver next year, I don't think he's a sell for a Dynasty league. So for me, I'm not selling Nico Collins, I don't think. Start 2 running backs with Monty, White, and Hall. Give me White and Hall. It's just like, how do they watch Ramondre get 10 more carries and get the same amount of yards as him? It's insane. It's insane. I don't know. Like, if he's a sell, who would you take for him? If he's a buy, who would you send for him? I'm trying to down tier. Let's see. Pull up the good old KTC to tell you where his market value's at. That's the hard thing, man. Sometimes is like, people can ask questions of like, who should I sell? And then I reference like a community market like KTC, and they're like, well, my league mates don't use KTC. I don't know who to tell you to do it for then, but let's play the game. I'm going to say, if I'm down tiering, because you said you're trying to down tier, if I'm down tiering from Nico Collins, I would be comfortable trying to down tier to Rashi. I don't know if you're going to be able to get that done, but he's lower on KTC. Garrett Wilson would be somebody you could down tier to potentially. I would also say maybe, I mean, outside of that, like, I don't really want to down tier to anybody else. It would be like Ladd or Marvin. If you're in a rebuild, maybe you can go from Nico to Marvin and get a plus thrown in. But outside of that, we get a pretty significant tier drop. So I think those would be the few names that I look at if I'm down tiering. I got another one as well. Pick 2 of these guys to start. Half PPR, Kamara, K9, Diggs, and Myers. Whew. Diggs is going to be one of the plays for me for sure. I'm going to play Diggs. Even though he has the chest injury, it sounds like he's going to be good to go. With Kamara, K9, and Myers, I'm not super ecstatic about any of them. I guess Kamara would probably be my play, but I'm not super ecstatic about it, like I said. I totally agree with McCarthy. Let him play. It just doesn't... I mean, I trust that he's actually hurt. They say he's hurt, so, you know, it is what it is. But also, that's frustrating in itself. It's like you miss your rookie year because of a meniscus injury, and now you're missing, like, most of your second... Not most. The start of the half of your second season. It's like, come on, brother. I know you were the startest or the youngest starting quarterback in the league, but we're losing the youth here by... you're not losing it. He's young. But you get what I'm saying. The advantage of being super young when you're not playing, it's not... You just got to spend time developing. Just got Jalen Waddle for Rico. That's insane, actually. JSN and Tep for Nico Collins and Rice. This is interesting. 12 team, a non-PPR. Wow. Wow. Non-PPR. That's weird because all of these wide receivers besides Nico are probably just PPR merchants. I think I'm going to go JSN and Tet still, though. I think that's probably what I'm doing. Do I just stick with what I have? Yeah, I probably would be sticking. What's AJ Brown's dynasty value? First and a second? If you can. I don't know if many people are giving first and seconds for AJ Brown these days. He's another player that I'm like in hold territory with him because his value suppressed, but I think he just needs. I think he's going to be traded personally. Either if it's not during the deadline, I think it's going to be in the offseason. I think he's traded. Is Worthy droppable? I have Nico, Drake, Sutton, Emeka, and Golden. I like Worthy over Golden, personally. So if you were dropping one of these guys, the drop for me is Golden. What would you try to sell Neighbors for in a dynasty pushing to contend? If I've seen a lot of people talking about like if I'm selling Neighbors, first of all, that's already like danger zone for me. Is like I'm not selling Neighbors even if I am trying to contend for the most part. But I'll tell you what, if I'm selling Malik Neighbors in a dynasty league, I need to get back a JSN, or I need to get back a CD Lamb, or I need to get back a Emeka Egbuka, an Amon-Ra, a Drake London. Like I have to get one of these elite guys back, and even London's like a little bit less. Like I need to get a high end type of wide receiver to move off of Neighbors, because honestly, when we get to the offseason and he's getting healthier again, he's going to bounce right back up to wide receiver 2, wide receiver 3 in Dynasty. I'm telling you. So I get wanting to go get the chips, push the chips in and try and get production, but you cannot sell Neighbors for like old people to contend or whatever bullshit to contend and then lose out on the dynasty value. So it's got to be an Amon-Ra or a JSN or, you know, one of those guys. As a Jetta's owner, I like me some Wentz playing over JJ. I don't know, man. The only touchdown that Justin Jefferson has scored this year was with JJ McCarthy. So, I mean, he's been getting some receiving yards and some receptions, and I won't say that it was better with JJ McCarthy. But the only touchdown he scored this year was with JJ, so I don't know, man. I hear you. I'm not worried about Justin Jefferson ever performing with anybody, to be honest. I've seen him perform with Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall, Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins. We could go on and on about all the players that he's performed with. I'm with you on that, though. Who wants to see Minnesota with these odd QBs, bro? No excitement. It's just boring, man. And I think as a fan, like, nothing against Kirk Cousins. But I had the Kirk Cousins experience for 5 years. Upper level quarterback play, not elite level quarterback play, but upper level quarterback play that gets you into a wild card, gets you into, you know, a divisional round of a playoff, and you lose. Get you a 10-win season, but you don't go anywhere in the playoffs. Like, I've seen that. I don't care to do that. Like, I want to see if we have the guy on the roster. And if we don't, fine, we can go get another guy to potentially be the guy. But I'm sick of just above average finishes to be whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I think it sounds spoiled as a fan, but it is what it is. I totally agree. Nothing about Walker, Kamara, and Diggs is good. Might have to do Walker just because of Monday night. Kamara be getting out snapped by Kendrick is not very appealing. Yeah, it's not great. Start 2 in a full 1-point PPR. Tet, Ladd, Judkins, BTJ. If I'm starting 1 this week, or I'm starting 2, give me Ladd and give me... It's between Judkins and Tet. I'm going to go Judkins. Give me Judkins and Ladd. What's up, Jeremy? He says 10 team, PPR, start 9. I'm a contending team. I'm trading away Amon-Ra, Cam Scatterbu, Devontae Adams for Jahmyr Gibbs, Garrett Wilson, a first and a third. Amon-Ra? I mean, Amon-Ra for Gibbs is good there. Garrett Wilson. Yeah, I like it for you. I like the Gibbs, the Wilson, the first side there. Similar names, different league. Pick 2 to start. PPR, Diggs, Myers, ETN, and Kamara. Thanks, bro. I love the content. Thank you, B-Money. Appreciate you. I would probably here, I'm going with Diggs and ETN. Those would be the 2 for me. I can't decide who to drop to activate Kittle. Burden, Diggs, Mason, or Penix. Team name is Big Penix Energy, so it would be hard to cut. He's the cut, though. I'll be honest. He's the cut. You're attached to the name. But he's the cut. If you really don't want to cut him, you're going to be cutting a better player, but it's probably Burden. They need to do the Joe Flacco approach and just pepper JJ like they did Chase. I mean, yeah, that would be great to just see him get peppered like that. But who knows, man? Who knows? I saw Larry Fitzgerald, jumping in the wide receiver 1 debate of Jefferson and Chase. He said he leans Jefferson, but he's also said he's biased because he grew up in the Minnesota area. But I don't know, man. It's interesting to see. Fault, what up, man? Appreciate you being here. Hey, just so you guys know, the start of the stream was crazy. You guys that were here, you know what I'm talking about. So I didn't really get through this, but I do want to remind you guys at home, if you have never played over on Underdog, the best way to support this channel is by signing up and trying out Underdog using our promo code. Now, when you sign up and play $5, they are going to give you $100 in bonus funds, and it's a good time to do it because in the month of October, it is Boosttober, so they're giving you promos in the app every single day. So like I said, if you want to support the show, you want to go over and try it, all you got to do is use promo code LEAGUEFFB. You can see it right there on screen, and they will give you that $100 and those boosts all month long. Now, if you want to support us a free way, the best free way to do that is by hitting the like button. Appreciate everybody who's hit that already tonight. Would like to see us try and get that to I don't know, how much longer are we going? We got about 20 more minutes in here. I'd like to see us try and get this like goal to 40 would be a nice little goal to hit. I think 50 as a stretch would be dope if we could hit that. So if you haven't done that already, let's hit that like button, man. All right, Fault says 12 team, super flex, PPR, half point tight end premium, Rice or Dart plus Fannin. It's going to be Rice for me. It's going to be the play. Tingley says, hey, yo, Andrew, happy Friday. Happy Friday to you too, Tingley. How you feeling about Evans? Should he actually play on Monday? Pick 1 running back and 1 flex. PPR, Dobbins, Swift, Evans, and Golden. So right now, I'll tell you where I got Evans in my rankings. Now, he is rumored to be playing, so I am operating as if he is playing. However, I'm being cautious with him fresh off of the injury. I have him about wide receiver 21-ish range. So I think he's a fine play. I'm always cautious with guys coming off of the injuries. But if I have to pick 1 running back and a flex, it's going to be Dobbins. And then probably... it honestly might be Swift. I think Swift might be a safer play than Evans. I'm going Dobbins and Swift, man. Those are going to be the 2 for me, Tingley. Jacoby Myers and Shaheed at flex for this week. Last few weeks has been brutal for Jacoby. I'm going to still go with... now I got to reference my rankings. But you're right. It has been a tough couple of weeks. I have Jacoby higher still. He's my wide receiver 32 in my rankings right now. I got Shaheed as my wide receiver 38. So the problem is do you get some of the targets for Myers or do you get the big play? I think I'm going to just lean with the targets. In my redraft league yesterday, I traded Rome, Kyron, and Swift for ETN, Olave, and Amon-Ra. Rome and Amon-Ra, give me Amon-Ra. Kyron is an upgrade. Yeah, I think it's a fair deal. Are you a believer in Kwesi? I am. I am a believer in Kwesi. I think he's a very smart GM as far as contracts and roster construction and free agents and scouting those like UDFAs. The draft classes have been not the greatest. I think that's the one thing I would like to see a little bit more improvement from him, but I still believe in him. I think he's been fine as a general manager, and he's definitely built a very solid team here. It's just a matter now of finding out whether or not we have the quarterback in the building. Are we getting a trade show tomorrow, Andrew? Yes, we are. We are recording it tomorrow morning, so you guys will have that about the same time. I think we usually drop those about 1 Eastern, so you guys will have that for sure tomorrow. Every week. Trap says, would you do Travion Henderson for Golden straight up? Redraft, Dynasty. In a Dynasty, I'm going to take Henderson. In a redraft, I'm going to take Henderson, so I guess it doesn't matter. I'm taking Henderson no matter what. I got offered Saquon and Odunze for Gibbs and Scadaboo. 1-5 in this league. What side do you like the rest of the season? That's tough. Gibbs and Odunze are the two that I like the most rest of season. I like Gibbs more than Odunze. I think I like Saquon a little bit more than Scadaboo, but I'm going to lean here on the... I think I'm going to lean on the Gibbs and Scadaboo side potentially. If I needed wide receiver, though, if I needed wide receiver help, I'm okay going to the Saquon and Odunze side. It's a fair deal. Does having Rattler as a super flex change your opinion? Not really. I don't really chase stacks in anything that's not best ball. Like I will have them on my team, but I'm not like making lineup decisions based off of stacks. Trade Caleb and Hampton for Henry. Drake May is my other quarterback. Needed a running back badly. How did I do? Okay, so you traded Caleb and Hampton for Henry. It's fine. I would say I think once Hampton is back in the lineup, he's the guy that I like the most in this trade rest of season. But if you really needed running back, like you said, going to get a guy like Derrick Henry's fine. I feel like Caleb and Hampton maybe could have got a little bit. I mean, it's not bad. It is what it is. Arod says, how did you and War meet and start doing content together? So I didn't know War in my personal life until we started playing fantasy together. I have a buddy that I grew up with, one of his cousins, and we played basketball together on the same team. And then funny enough is the guy that I played basketball with, I'm not really friends with him anymore, but I became friends with his cousin. And we played in a fantasy football league together, and we needed a guy, and War got invited to come in because he knew my buddy's cousin and ended up coming into the league, playing in that league with us. So I met War that way. And just over the years, it was like, hey, let's start playing Dynasty. He started playing Dynasty, and we did that. And so I just met him through fantasy football, playing in leagues because he knew somebody who was already in one of my leagues. And when it came to doing content together, it was just me putting in our fantasy football group chat, like, hey, I'm about to start a fantasy football company / brand / YouTube channel, and I'm just going to start doing it, and I'm going to treat it very seriously. Does anybody want to hop on and just talk fantasy with me? And he was the only guy in a group of 10 plus guys that cared to do it seriously, I think, with me at that time. And he's just stuck to it. And he's, been a ride or die there. So he's been doing the content with me from there on. So, yeah, that's how we started doing it. It was just, hey, does somebody want to do it with me? And he said, I'll hop on and talk with you. And then we just started hopping on and talking with each other. Traded a first and a second in 2026 for the 105. I took Ibuka. He's my wide receiver 3 behind CD and London. Was offered Rice and Golden and a 27 first. Thoughts? Okay, so we're trying to decipher. This looks like a trade pathway. So the real question at the very end is, I was offered Rice for Golden and a 27 first. I think that's the real question here. Yes, just give me Rice. Just got rid of one of my JJ shares. Something is fishy here. Also, we leaning Chuba or Dowdle this week. Thanks, brother. I'm leaning Dowdle over Chuba. I hear you with the JJ stuff, though. I I bought a share, another one, pretty cheap in a league recently. We'll see how it turns out. But I bought another one. We'll see, man. It feels like the thing is, yes, something smells fishy here. I agree. There is something that's I'm getting a little bit of a whiff of something, and it's, you know, there's something wrong, maybe. I can't tell what it is, but yeah, man, I bought another one. That's what can I say? I bought another one. It is what it is. Anthony says 27 first and Golden to receive Rice. Yeah, I would take Rashi Rice. Asked about QJ trade earlier. Talked him to swap out Dobbs plus Rico for QJ. It's Dobbs and Rico for QJ. Running backs would be CMC and Woody. Wide receivers are T-Mac, Marv, would flex QJ. Bench is Fan and RJ. If it's Dobbs and Rico for QJ, I don't mind it. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind it if you need the wide receiver help, which it looks like you kind of do with Godwin. I think I'd do it. I'd do it. I have CD back, so if I shop GP, what would you look for? Redraft, also have Dak and Ferg, so too many Cowboys. I mean, if you're trading George Pickens, you need to get somebody on the higher end of things because he's been balling. I'd say shoot for a Nico, shoot for a Rome, shoot for a London, something like that if you can. You might have to throw a little on top, but that's fine. Super chat from Christopher. He says, should I start Vidal or Mason? Right now in my rankings, I currently have Vidal as my running back 22 and Jordan Mason is my running back 24. So I would go with Kamani Vidal. And that's a reminder, folks, if you do want to skip the line ever, Super Chat is the best way to do it. Doesn't even have to be anything. It could be 99 cents and you will skip the line. I think this is the one we're at, right? Starting Stafford or Fields. Right now, I currently have Fields one spot over Stafford in my rankings, 13 and 14. I got offered Herbert plus Benson for Kyler plus Chuba. This is the Dynasty full PPR Superflex no-brainer. Yeah, no-brainer. Give me Herbert. How are your redraft teams doing so far, bro? I only play in one redraft these days. It's a home redraft league that I've been playing in for a long time now, but I'm in third place, I think. We play with a median in there, so if you don't know what that is, it's just an extra game every week. The top 5 scores, it's a 10-man league. It's just high school basketball buddies. Top 5 scores get a win, bottom 5 scores get a win. So right now in there, I am 7-5 in third place with the most points for in the league. So got a little bit unlucky with some matchups, but have scored the most points. So not too bad of a team. I'll tell you the roster right now, actually. It's a super flex with 3 starting wide receivers. It's a tight end premium as well. Jalen Hurts, Jordan Love, and JJ McCarthy are my QBs. I have Rico, Cam Scattaboo, David Montgomery, Trey Benson, Trevion Henderson, and Chase Brown, and Zach Charbonnet at the running back position. I've been taking a bunch of shots there trying to find somebody because that has been the weak spot of my team. My wide receivers are Amon-Ra, JSN, Devonta Smith, Jordan Addison, and who else? Luther Burden is in there. And then tight end, Marvin Harrison is there as well. And then tight end, I have Cade Otton that I'm playing this week. And I've had David Njoku, who hasn't been great. So that's the team. Not a bad roster. Like I said, most points scored, but still in third place. Is this running back room chilling the rest of season? Full PPR. We got Charbonnet, Brees, Judkins, Harvey, Henderson, Chase Brown. I think they're chilling. There might be a couple lawn chairs, so it's a little bit less comfy, but I think they're chilling. I think you're all right. Thoughts about Benson's future, franchise running back, or can he be replaced? I think he's replaceable. I don't think he's like this franchise type of running back, but I do think he's going to have a lot of opportunity here at the back half of the season. Once he gets healthy and gets back in the lineup, I do think they're going to just hand him the workload here the rest of the way and see what they have with him. So it'll be, I guess, kind of dependent on how he performs in the back half of the year. A-Rod says, that's dope with you in war. Funny how sometimes your closest people stem from other friends that you don't even... Yeah, it is, man. I'm trying to think, like, there's a ton of guys that I used to play basketball with, and, you know, one or two guys specifically that I was, like, best friends with, inseparable in high school. Like, we were always at each other's houses, going to the YMCA, playing basketball, working out, doing all this stuff together, 24/7, 365. And it's just crazy, man, how life goes along, and sometimes you don't even talk to some of those people anymore. One of those guys, we kind of stopped communicating. It was his thing. Like, he just kind of stopped communicating with everybody. Nobody can get a hold of him, and it's been that way for years. It's crazy, man. Because like I said, that was kind of like my brother in high school, and now it's like I don't even know what he's doing in his life, which is crazy. Bob says, Sutton, Keenan, PPR, pick one. Pitts, Fannin, also Hurts or May. Thanks. So I'm going to go with, I think, Sutton in the wide receiver spot. With the tight ends, I'm going with, give me Fannin. And then Hurts or May, I'm going to go with May over Hurts. Super chat from Cash Money, giving that cash money via super chat, $2, says, got Puka / Henry for HN and Odunze. Guy was panicking. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Puka's a guy that has been dominating. You didn't give up like nothing, so I think he still got a pretty good compensation package, but Puka's the best player in this deal for sure. I like that. 12 teams, Superflex, PPR, tight end premium, start 11, flex spot question. You going with Chuba or Kenneth Walker? I think I'm going with Kenneth Walker over Chuba. The backfield is so scary right now. I'm just leaning on what I've seen over the last couple of weeks, which is Rico. Thanks, Andrew. Enjoying the shows as always. Much love all the way from Saudi. Dude, that is dope, man. That is actually really cool. Much love to you, man. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying it. And I'm glad... You know, it's just crazy to think people all around the world are sitting and watching this. It's insane. It's humbling, to say the least. So I appreciate you being here. Would you trade Neighbors for London, a 26 and a 27 first? 26. Yep. This is so for everybody who has asked me, by the way, for everybody who has asked me, what do you trade Neighbors for? Get this compensation, because that's what I would trade Neighbors for. Somebody has to come to me with that, and I'm okay moving Neighbors. Franklin or Tez Johnson if Diggs can't go this week? Give me Franklin. 4th in points for, 1st in points against, 1 in 5, 10th out of 12. Crazy, man. Crazy. That's why I like playing with the median, because even though I've had some unlucky matchups, my weekly point totals have been good enough that I'm still in 3rd place because I've been scoring so many points. So if you've never done it, maybe worth trying. I like the median. Some people don't like it. They think it's like too... I don't know, whatever. But I like median. BR says, do I trade Rico or Walker plus Worthy for Odunze plus Harvey? I'm not opposed to it. I think that Odunze is the best player in this deal. So I'd probably take the Odunze and Harvey side. But I would rather trade Rico away and keep Walker probably. I'm 4-2, and he's 2-4, so he definitely panic traded. Makes sense. Makes sense. I have Amon-Ra and JT still. Yeah, that's crazy, man. Fault says Brazil here. There you go. That's really cool as well. He says fantasy football or FFB all around the world. League FFB, man. What I'm curious, man, is if people want to, you don't have to. You don't got to dox yourself. So, I mean, I'm not asking you to give me your address, but if you guys are watching from not the United States of America, where are you guys watching from? I saw we got Brazil. I saw we had Saudi. It's dope to see everybody here. But yeah, I'm curious where it's at, man, because I've seen, the analytics let me see countries, and for the most part, it's like 98% the United States, but I've seen some London. I've seen some, some other places as well, but it's cool, man. Kevin says, speaking of your Vikings, do you trust Hawk and Addison the rest of the season? I actually just made Jordan Addison a trade for candidate in one of this week's videos. The rest of season schedule for the Vikings wide receivers is really good. I do think he's solid, and I do think Hawkinson has a good schedule rest of the season as well. So, yeah, I do like both of these guys rest of the season. I think they're good buy low candidates potentially at the moment. Like, nobody's really talking about them. Are you worried about Ladd in Dynasty? Not necessarily this season only. Not really. I still think he's a super talented player, and I think some of the issue with Ladd McConkey this year is Keenan Allen, but I don't think Keenan Allen's going to be playing football that much longer. I wouldn't be surprised if at the end of the season he decides to kind of chalk it up and call it a day. It's only a one-year deal for him too, so I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think you answered this already, so my bad for asking it. You don't got to worry about that. I do have Fannin over Otten, though, in my rankings this week. Yeah, Fannin's over Otten in my rankings. What's your dynasty rebuild philosophy? Do you save picks for draft or bundle for upgrades? So the quickest way that I could tell you kind of my philosophy is during the point scoring season, which is right now. So right now I would be selling any asset that I think is 1, overvalued, 2, not an asset that I think would be valuable to me next year, and or an aging asset. So it's really one of those 3 criteria. So it's got to be aging, it's got to be one that's not valuable next year, and it's got to be one that's overvalued. I will sell all of those for draft picks. I'm not really trying to bundle and upgrade and consolidate my team at the start of a rebuild. I want to get as many draft picks as possible. I want to have as many bites to the cookie, all of that, whatever you want to call it. Then when it comes to the time when people are getting rookie fever, it's a little bit more draft pick oriented. We're in the off season. The market has settled on players a little bit more. We have a standardized market. That's when I'm taking my shots. I don't want to use every single one of those rookie draft picks to make selections. I'm probably going to go and use some of them where I think I'm going to get good value. So I look at the upcoming class, find out where I like the guys. There's pockets that you might be able to draft players that you like. That's what I'm going to be looking at. But I'm also going to take some of those picks and trade them for young talent that I like. Maybe somebody's panicking on a Ladd McConkey because he doesn't finish the year that crazy. I'll go buy Ladd for a late first. Maybe it's something like Travion Henderson didn't perform this year, and people are like, ooh, Travion Henderson's not going to pop, blah, 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 blah. I'll go try and buy Travion Henderson with some of the draft picks. Then I'll use some, and like I said, once you get to a point where you've done that and you feel like you've taken enough shots and you've had enough youth on the roster, when you get to contending window, then I would consolidate and upgrade into some of these stars as you see some of the rookies and the young guys develop. So hopefully, I know I said quickly, that's how I would break it down. Hopefully that makes sense, because that's exactly how I would do it. Hopping on the stream at 4 a.m., that's insane, bro. That's insane. Jeff says, need 2 wide receivers and a flex, full PBR between Worthy, Bourne, Booty, Whittington, and Jordan Mason. Give me Worthy and Bourne as the wide receivers, and the flex, give me Jordan Mason. Judkins or Rice in the flex. Give me Rashee Rice, firing him up right away, man. Traded away Mason. Hunter and Jones for Waddle. I like that. He says starting running backs for CMC and Gen T wide receivers. Yeah, I like that upgrade. Trade Hawk and Rico for Laporta. I'm okay with it. I don't think you have to, but I'm okay with it. Yeah. Based on what we've seen from Golden, when Reed gets back, who is the number one wide receiver going forward? I still think Jaden Reed is the most talented wide receiver in that offense. Whether or not he's getting the full-time role, we will never know, I don't think. I think actually at this point it's pointing towards him not getting it. But I like Reed the most in this offense. And I think he's cheaper than Matthew Golden. What would you give up for Henderson knowing that he won't be doing much this season, banking on him next season? I don't think it's guaranteed that he doesn't do anything this season. I think he's a guy that second half of the year could still see a breakout. I mean, we're only 7 weeks into the season right now, so I think he's definitely somebody who can still perform. What would I be willing to give up for him in a dynasty league? If anybody is willing to get rid of him for an early second, I'm doing that all day long. Give me Henderson for an early second. I'm still willing to give a late 26 first next year. And hey, take my late 26 first. I'll take Henderson off your hands. How much would you pay for Dart on a rebuilding team, 12-team super flex, and I have an extra first and second in the next 2 years? JJ and Purdy are my current QBs. LOL, I'll have 1-on-1 next year. I mean, the thing is, Jackson Dart's like already crept up kind of into 2 firsts type of territory as far as trade package goes. I think what I would be trying to do here is probably if I wanted Jackson Dart, I would try and use Purdy to move into Jackson Dart. You're probably going to have to throw a little bit on top of Purdy to get to Dart. And then I would use something to get a QB3 later, maybe even if it's just finding the QB3 in the draft next year in 2026, because it's pretty solid as far as quarterback depth goes. So that's probably what I'd be willing to do. I took over a rebuild midseason that was taken down to the studs, and I completely effed up my rebuild by wanting to do... Yeah, I mean, that happens sometimes, man. Sometimes people get impatient. I always do an off-season video where it's like how to rebuild, and I do it every year. I probably should do it in season because I feel like that's probably more beneficial. But that's one of my big things is if you get impatient in a rebuild, it's the easiest way to F it up. Johnny, pick one. Your favorite team is playing against the Chiefs and their refs, or you get kicked in the sensitive area. Yeah, I think I'd still rather the Vikings play the Chiefs and the refs. Probably. But I feel you, Johnny. QBs in my league get a point per completion. Do I start Caleb Williams or Daniel Jones this week? I would go with Caleb Williams. I have him higher in my rankings, actually, just straight off the rip. And I think he probably has more completions than Daniel Jones anyways. And then I got one more question. We're at 1 hour and 5 minutes almost, so I got one more question. Jeff, you will be the buzzer beater. Actually, Dynasty Dumpster Fire, you will be the waiver wire. You will be the buzzer beater question here. Fannin or Hunter Henry? I got Fannin higher in my rankings, and he says Caleb or Hurts is what I'm assuming that is, and I have Caleb over Hurts in my rankings this week. Holy shit, what just happened there? Wow, I don't know what just happened. Can I Command Z that? Maybe. Hold on. Hey, there we go. Command Z. I need to lock that. Hold on. Actually, it doesn't matter. We're wrapping up the stream. Fuck it. All right, folks. So there you go. That is it. Thanks for the Q&A tonight. Got people from Saudi, people from Brazil, people from the United States, everybody all over the place. League FFB is universal, man. Appreciate it. But look, man, I'm actually going to answer this one because I think this is very beneficial and it plugs into the outro. This is my first time playing fantasy football, and it's a work league where most are inactive and don't really care how to find a league. We have a free Discord. Y'all see what I'm doing here? We got a free Discord linked in the description. 600 plus people in that Discord right now. It's free to join the Discord. We have a Find a League channel in that Discord. So if you ever want to find people that watch this channel, that play fantasy football religiously, go into that Discord. There's a Find a League channel, and you can find some people to play with there. So that was I figured I'd answer it because it ties into the outro. But I did want to say, appreciate everybody for hitting the like button. We are at 40. That was, the smaller goal that we wanted to hit today. 50 would have been hella dope. So if you haven't hit the like button and you're still watching, go hit that like button for me. But I have nothing else for you guys today. So thanks for being subscribed. I will see you on the next episode. But until then, peace out. Maybe not. I hit it last time. It cut me off, and then,